Okay, fine. We'll actually have a live stream. I'll be here. That's what you wanted, right? That's what you needed. Fine. Hello. Hi. How is it going, everybody? Also, why is my volume so low on my mic? It shouldn't be that low. The fuck? That's fine. It's fine. Hello, everybody. Also, where is my thing? Hold on. D. I just realized I need to do a thing. Where the fuck is my button? And boop. There we go. I have to give out a thing to people I trust. So there's a thing to people I trust. One second. So what we need now is Moonchant. No, we don't. No, we don't. Majora's Mask Moon is waifu. No, we do not need more waifus. The fuck is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you? Stop. Stop trying to fuck everything that comes out of my channel. Stop it. Oh my god. We don't need Moonchan. We already have Holchan. Yeah, you've already got plenty. God. Guys, Vulpix Chan. No! Do not fuck the Vulpix. Do not. That is not an okay thing to do. It's time to be done. It's time to be finished. Fwosty says, I'm a new fan. Well, hello, Fwosty. How you doing? Serious question. What do you think of the app BetterHelp? I think that I am not an expert. I am not an expert in mental health. I don't know how good BetterHelp is. I've heard mixed stories, but I'm uncertain. How's it going, Ivana? I need to go ahead and give you this as well. There you go. There we go. What's your opinion on D&D? It can be fun. Fenekagami says, why aren't you on Twitch? Because Sunday we do YouTube streams. Mind Flameblade says, Sarah's always been questioned about the avatar choice. Why a female Neko? Because that's what fan art did. Fan art did that a long time ago, so I just ran with it. That's why. What's your favorite meal? Usually chicken tenders. Are you affiliated with Twitch? Miss Stella, I'm a Twitch partner. I'm a Twitch partner. So no cool was worried bullshit happened on Twitch. No, it's I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part to try to expand my audience where I can. So streaming on Twitch and streaming on YouTube seems to be the best way to do that. Sans says, how are you today? I'm doing pretty okay. I am doing pretty okay. I cannot complain that much. And so are Gardevoirs. Oh my god. Y'all need help. Y'all need help. I have a wrench and a sword now. I can do 2 times the violence. You can, Ivana. Congratulations. Randy says, Mr. Suris, what's SISO? SISO is just when you are a clean and comfy streamer. Usually, when you are a clean and comfy streamer in the VTuber world. That's typically where that is used. So, yeah. Least typically. Typically, that is the case. Give me a second. I need to find a oh my god. No, I don't want this, whatever this is. Jesus Christ. I hate the Vice website. I hate it so much. Not gonna lie, ever since I've seen your video, 10 Steps to a, well, you know what? I've been on the edge as a trans woman, honestly, for the future. I can understand that, Mind Flame Blade. I really can. But do remember that as long as you are alive, as long as you are breathing, there is still hope. The fact of the matter is, living in fear, living in anxiety, living awful, that's exactly what people who try to get us closer and closer to those 10 steps all becoming a reality, that's what they're trying for. That's what they want to happen. As a result, if you live your life to the fullest, if you are happy, if you find a partner or a friend group that makes you comfortable, all of that stuff, it spites transphobes. It spites transphobes to hell and back. And it ruins their ability to actually win. It ruins their ability to actually feel like they are making everybody suffer. More people that are happy, the better. Hey, sir, says melting plastic with a heater a bad idea? It can be, depending on how you do it. It depends. Having a loving partner helps a lot in making transphobes suffer. It's true. That's very true. Never look at Tulip. Fwasty, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Following over on Twitch is just fan-fucking-tastic. I accidentally melted a bunch of plastic with an oven rack yesterday. Why? Being happy spite transphobes will hurt them any way you do things. Yeah. No, that's true. Is 100% true. The biggest slaps you can do to conservatives is living happily. Yep. Basically. You accidentally melted a plastic pinwheel? How? Sirs, I didn't try to. It was hot and I accidentally put it down too close to some plastic bags. Gotcha. Gotcha. Asking the real question there. Zada Agala, hello. Thank you for the $2. So when do we get the naked Dakikamuras? So, Zada, I don't think I'm ever going to do the naked ones. There is maybe one exception that I might make to that, but that exception is not something that I'm planning on being public about anytime soon. So, consider it a no with potentially a change to it in the future, maybe, but probably not. You said you're no fun? Is that a... No. Bonbon, hello! Let me go ahead and do a thing. If you're here, that means I need to go ahead and give you a monkey wrench. I would pay more for the Suris OnlyFans than a Markiplier OnlyFans. I don't have a reason to make a Suris OnlyFans. Y'all, I'm not that attractive. I'm not that attractive. You would gain little from a Suris OnlyFans. Thoughts on the Hogwarts Legacy drama regarding Silvervale? I think there's no reason to be doxing a person, and I can see that shit that's happening with Silvervale. At the same time, there's a performative element to how Silvervale responded to playing the game. But I'm going to be honest, you guys have heard my opinion on Hogwarts Legacy before. I think bitching about the game and focusing so much effort on bitching about the game and people playing the game is useless, and it creates more problems than it solves. It's an easy virtue signally win that people get to jump on and feel super good about, and then never do anything. It's functionally slacktivism. Trinity says, Suris, no matter how much you ugly, you still pretty in our eyes, man. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So they turned their ally card in. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that still. I'm not going to stick on this topic too terribly long because I've already given my opinion on a previous stream. But my opinion is that if somebody is a consummate ally for years, continues to be a consummate ally after playing the game, and then spends all of their time talking about trans issues, helping trans people, functionally making trans spaces better and more positive, but they just happen to stream Hogwarts Legacy, I feel like saying that they turned in their ally card then is really moot. Arrow says, you think people are hijacking the, intentionally hijacking the discourse around the game to make trans people look worse? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. He said, what did Tatum lie about now? We'll get to it. Shut up about NGL, man. I mean, NGL is the thing that I used for, like, questions on Twitter, and it's been fun. I don't care about any drama in the gamer/poll community. A lot of gamer culture can be toxic in that realm. Yep. Yep. Have you even played the Hogwarts game thing, but they need to also know the weight of Rowling's words? Yep. Anything YouTube does better than Twitch? Not really. Not really. What about people who are trans who play the game? I don't care. It's a video game. The amount of... like, there's no way to measure the amount of harm that comes out of buying the game or playing the game. A trans person plays the game. Okay, cool. A trans person played the game. Neat. Every single bit of media has been touched by somebody who is transphobic. It's honestly, the way I've seen people on Twitter harass others to play the game makes me sad. It hurts my heart to see others attacked for something so benign. Yep. Would YouTube's new CEO delete Actman's channel to spite us? No idea. I like Telltale's covering in issues too. We're really good at discussing LGBT issues. Yeah. Man, your chat log is super laggy. Yeah, Nikki, it's really laggy when I'm on YouTube. Chat log works a lot better when I'm on Twitch, but on YouTube, it certainly has issues. It certainly has issues. And I'm not a fan of those issues. Who the hell is Silverveil anyway? Silverveil is a VTuber who is fairly large, and she got a lot of harassment for playing Hogwarts Legacy recently. Bonbonberry says, do you use Stream Elements? What, for the chat? No, this is my old chat from Streamlabs. I kept the URL, and I've been using it ever since. Oh, Crim Streamlabs. Oh, I know. I know. But I've not been able to get this chat made in a different way. So to be honest, seems like Silverveil's milking the drama now. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, consider this. Let's say that you did a thing that got you harassed and then a bunch of bad things happened to you. You have two things you can do. Ignore the drama or try to profit from it. If streaming is your job, then learning how to take drama that has happened to you and turn it positive is unfortunately part of the job. Think about this. Anytime that Call for an Uprising has decided that he wants to harass me or threaten me or do anything, it turns into a video, primarily for documentation, because it's Call for an Uprising. You need to make sure that that shit is documented and ready to go, but also because, oh, this content creator who is a vile piece of shit is attacking me. I need to take my suffering that I have taken from this and turn it into something. I need to turn that into something that is not hurting me. Turning your harassment into something that you can use is a skill. And it's a skill that you sometimes have to use for your own mental health. I think your example is possibly better than cringe fake cry at the end of stream. I mean, Red Joker, I agree with you, but I have no way of knowing if it's a fake cry. I have no way of knowing. How's it going, Isaac Krause? Yeah, I don't know if it was a fake cry. I don't, and to be honest, I don't think I care. I don't think I care. So did he seriously drive you into concealed carry? Yes, Barry. I have a gun because of Call for an Uprising. Other people enjoy what I like just because I can't enjoy singing anymore is their issue. I'm trans and I live in Florida. I'm sorry, Hypervirtualist. Let's see here. What did Trinity say? They were dumb, but at the time, we're all stupid in the past until now. Yeah. Trinity says, I'm a person who watches someone who said transsexual from 5 years ago, but at the time I didn't care and things changed. It didn't affect much people until now. Yeah, understandable. Understandable. Nikki Dog Gaming says, I know a trans person who lives in Florida, and they are quite a jerk. Not related, just a thought. That's fair. I know a trans person who lives in Florida, and he is a lovely human being who spent a week at my house recently, and I wouldn't have them any other way. But, you know, eh. Go send Nova some love. Well, Nova's playing Final Fantasy and chilling by himself down in Florida now, so, like, it's not going to do much good at the moment. I missed the start of this conversation. What was Suris' take on the Silverveil stuff? My take is I don't have enough information to come to any conclusion, but I don't care if another streamer plays the goddamn game. I don't. We turned that into, like, the way to judge whether somebody's a good person. Which is just fucking gross. It's just fucking gross. Twins fellas, spend some time with you. Lovely. Twins fella spend some time with you. Lovely. Trinity, you already knew about that. I sent you stuff. you already knew. Really just a repeat of the Chick-fil-A situation from years ago. Yeah, it's the same thing where somebody would buy a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A and then everybody would get mad at them on social media, and we would have to point out that, okay, cool, keep that same energy with Walmart and Target and Starbucks and literally every other place that does vile things to its workers. But don't worry, we have a specific spot for a specific kind of marginalization. It's weird. Said Darmon videos I often dislike because they're often clothes tropes. Disliking somebody who's poor until they're rich, like that's such a horrible moral. Yup. Hey, sir, have you ever been to Buc-ee's? I have not been to Buc-ee's, but I do live close enough to one that I should try. Oh, wait, I forgot I was busy with 2 vids I'm making. I'm taking a doodle break. Yes, Trinity. Fucking hell. Can you guys imagine being homo/transphobic in 2023? Yeah, I can. I can imagine it. I know what I used to be like. It's very easy for me to imagine that. It's not hard at all. I can imagine a lot of that. I should go touch some Colorado grass before I turn into something more powerful than ever. Emma Merrick says, hey, there's some Republicans who are trying to ban gender-affirming care for trans youth in Idaho State, and they're trying to ban mRNA vaccines now. Color me shocked. Color me shocked. I can imagine what I can't imagine is being such a bigot without spewing religion as a justification. I can imagine that too. Prior to making my channel, it was very easy for me to discount trans people. It was incredibly easy. I would use every argument under the radar, from you're going against biology to you're changing car parts but you're not changing the engine. A ton of stupid fucking arguments. So, just been there, done that. I see you growing past that. That's actually rad. Jamie, you have no idea the amount of things that I have had to reconsider in the past month. I mean, obviously things in the last few years, too, but still. Funny how the Republicans complain about how the left get offended by everything, but try to do authoritarian crackdowns on things that offend them. Yep. Their argument is that it was rushed, therefore unsafe. Yeah, a sample size of 43,000 apparently wasn't big enough for them. Which, I mean, I could kind of understand that, maybe, possibly. But that requires not understanding how we do vaccines. I was transphobic for years after memory loss, denying myself of exploring being non-binary, and I forgot my youth not fitting as my assigned gender. Yep. Wait, what's the argument about car parts and the engine? So, remember, the argument is basically this. It's somebody going, hey, so my car's internals are that of a Volkswagen Beetle. I can change the paint job. I can change all that, but it's not going to change what that car is. I can change multiple parts in that car, but I'm still not changing that it's a Volkswagen Beetle at the end of the day. I can change the car doors to blue. I can change... I can even swap in the engine for a different one, and I still have a Volkswagen Beetle. That's the car parts argument. It's really stupid. It doesn't hold up, because humans aren't cars. But it was one that I used. It was a stupid argument. Ugh. Volkswagen Beetle, I'll take two. Maybe I'm just thinking of the Beetle because I've been reading the Dresden Files. This comparison to cars is like the seatbelt argument. We can't just objectify human beings. Yep. Yep. Alrighty, guys. Let's go ahead and get into today's first topic, because today I was introduced to an argument that I've heard a few times before, but I wanted to go ahead and address it because I think it's very important. As somebody who uses VTubing primarily as my streaming method and also talks about politics, if you've been on Twitter today, you probably know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. But first, let's get into the fan art section. So, the first piece of fan art we have here is from Sarius/Jiri the Serpent. Said, try to draw a black hole Suris trying to lick the black hole, but it's just an oddly dressed Suris in the end. I wouldn't say oddly dressed. Then again, I don't know what would be considered normal dress for me. I think all my dress is probably odd. Yeah, probably. That said, let's go to the next piece of fan art. This one is from Sylvia Silica. Suris, you're a sorcerer now. Art block's been beating me up and I've not been satisfied with my work, so have this. Sylvia Silica. Art block sucks, but at the same time, your art is fantastic. So, even if you're not satisfied in your work, please understand your work is good. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that all said, let's go ahead and get into today's topic right after you hit the bell notification icon and subscribe. That's the thing you probably should be doing. Please subscribe. Something. Only 30% of you are... That thing. Anyways, before we get into the actual subject at hand, I want to go ahead and show the tweet that signaled that I would, in fact, be covering this as opposed to just commenting on it a little bit on Twitter. This is from Cathari, who's an Ian VTuber, just like I am. With the post that we're going to be reading, they did point out that, I really did rustle some jimmies with this. Keep going. Let me hear all of your opinions on this subject. Now, I'm hoping that was entirely in good faith. I'm hoping that when they say, hey, let's hear all your opinions, it's not one of those, like, Rick and Morty, I don't care for what you cheer for, or I don't care that you're booing me, I've seen what you cheer for type of shit. I'm hoping it's not one of those. I'm going to come at this with good faith, and we're going to do this in good faith. So, the actual conversation that led to me wanting to do this is this post right here from Cathari. VTubing is trending, so I'll reiterate this vital lesson. Let's go ahead and begin. If you think that the advice you're giving is a vital lesson as opposed to an opinion, you better make sure it's a good one. VTubing is about entertainment first and foremost. So, I agree. However, I don't agree with the follow-up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the follow-up. Hold on a second. I just realized. Is my model crying? No. No, it's not. For some reason, I thought it was. Weird. Anyway, not super important. Not super important. But I see too many V-tweeters lately. Let's go ahead and talk about that part there. A V-tweeter is just somebody who uses VTuber avatar persona 9999, but primarily talks on Twitter as opposed to streaming. Usually, people who are called VTweeters actually stream as much as people who consider themselves, quote, real VTubers. It's just a gatekeeping term that's used. That's all. But I see too many VTweeters lately spouting political trash, tampering what it means to be a VTuber. We are performers and comedians, not political activists. So, let's go ahead and get into some very obvious bits about this. What would anybody consider what I do on my channel? Some people would consider it political activism, other people would consider it political commentary, and even some would consider it just raising awareness about politics as it's happening around us. In either way, most people would also consider me a performer. I perform as a VTuber. All VTubers do. We hop behind a persona, or we hop behind an avatar, and we hop on stream for you. But what is VTubing? Well, VTubing is just the idea of putting an avatar in front of your face instead of just a camera. I'm fine doing an immersion break. I'm right here. This is me. This is how I look in real life all the time. I'm doing this to show is. Thank you, OBS, for disconnecting and reconnecting. Weird. All VTubing is just being in front of the camera, being yourself, or being a character while using your avatar. That's all it is. That's all it is. So, when you say that, hey, we are performers and comedians and... No. We are people behind avatars. That's what we are. There are VTubers who are performers. There are VTubers who are comedians. There are VTubers who are entertainment first and foremost. I agree that streaming is entertainment first and foremost. But to argue that entertainment cannot be political activism, to argue that entertainment cannot be spouting about politics, is to argue that there has never been a comedian who talks about politics, who is engaged in political activism. There's this running idea that I've seen a lot, that comedians are the ones that make us laugh but make us think. They are the ones that say the things that everybody else has on their minds, but the comedian's willing to say it, and they're willing to say it in such a way that makes people laugh, and so they get to expose that part of society that we otherwise wouldn't see. This is the argument that's been used on the right for so long, trying to defend people like Dave Chappelle when he makes a whole bunch of transphobic jokes up on screen. We've been using this argument, this comedians are able to talk about politics shit for so long. And what it really boils down to, almost all the time, and maybe Cathari means something different, they have the ability to contact me if they do. But usually, when somebody is complaining about politics, they're actually complaining about politics they don't like. If somebody's on the right wing and somebody hears somebody complaining about LGBTQ issues, they're probably going to complain. But if somebody's on the left wing and they hear somebody complaining about trans people being groomers, they'll start getting angry about that too. What we are doing, 9 times out of 10, is we are responding to the content of what somebody is saying. We are not responding to the existence of politics. Anytime somebody says, get politics out of my video games, you're ignoring all of the video games that have political messages that are sometimes surface deep and sometimes baked deep down. Anybody who's played something like Undertale or played half the Final Fantasies and then tries to say, get politics out of my games, should stop playing role-playing games that are usually about the monarchies and infrastructure between kingdoms. Literally, politics. Get politics out of Final Fantasy VII. Okay, cool. So I guess we're not going to talk about Mako or the Shinra Corporation or the ethics of the soldier warriors that are used by the fucking multi-billion-dollar corpse in that series. We're not going to think about any of the actual story. We're just going to hammer the A button in the piss-boring combat of that game. And I'm sorry, I think turn-based combat is not the most fun and engaging thing in the world. You can make it more fun and engaging, but that's my hot take on original Final Fantasy VII. Story is great, characters are great, combat is it's just it's not quite there. It's not quite there. But Cathari does go on to say, I understand that people want to care about political issues and all that stuff, but try to keep that out of your careers. Again, I want to disagree. My career is as a streamer, talking about politics. I just happen to be a VTuber and have been a VTuber for 2 years. It's a thing that has come to be wrapped up in my identity as much as anything else. I'm glad that you understand that people can care about politics, but people are going to bring politics into their careers. And here's the reason why, functionally. You want to know the real reason people bring politics into their careers, into their entertainment, into the things they write and the things they care about? Because politics affects us. Plain and simple. Politics is not the Super Bowl. Politics is not your team versus my team, and whichever team wins, we get to be happy about. No. Politics is about the way we interact with one another, the policies that dictate our lives, the ways infrastructure is funded that allow us to live and survive. There are VTubers who, for instance, there is a VTuber who goes by the name of Minnie. I've shouted them out once before. Minnie is a VTuber who spends most of their days bound to a bed. They are racked with pain constantly, and unless they are on constant medication, are borderline non-functional due to a series of health conditions, one of which is including cancer. Minnie still tries to be an entertaining VTuber, but guess what? Minnie ends up talking about their health issues on Twitter quite a lot, because it's literally one of the largest portions of their lives. They live life effectively in a bed. A VTuber like Minnie, if denied medical care at any point, would end up talking about politics because it's something that directly affects their lives. A VTuber like Nova, who I'd had at my house for a week recently. A VTuber like Nova is trans, and he lives in Florida, where Ron DeSantis is. The video that I did recently, it's not up yet as of me saying this on stream, but it's uploaded and going up in a few days. But the video I did on Ron DeSantis trying to pull trans medical information from universities, that video idea came directly from Nova. Why? Because Nova lives in Florida and is a trans person who went to school in Florida. This is a thing that directly affects him. So, of course, we are going to find people talking about the things that affect them positively and negatively. When you try to say, keep your political issues out of our careers, out of what we say, out of what we do, what you're really meaning is it's inconvenient for you to hear about things you don't like. But these things affect us. I covered Brianna J recently. And when I talked about it, I had to end stream when I was done. Because a trans person I care for deeply with all of my fucking heart was in my house with me. And he had to come check on me and be like, hey, are you all right after covering that topic? And no, I wasn't. I had to end stream. I had to just be done. Because it hit that close to home. And the closer to home it hits you, the harder it hurts. And the harder it hurts, the more likely you are to talk about it. We have a tendency to talk about the things that affect us the most. The last part in Kathari's thing here is you make money from making other people laugh, not making them regret checking Twitter every day. Kathari, with all due respect, this is what a mute button is for. There are plenty of streamers who make plenty of money streaming and still talk about political issues on YouTube or on Twitter. There are other creators. For instance, when Roe v. Wade came through, there were creators like Bonsai Pop, who runs a channel talking about anime. No politics are in that channel for the most part at all. But you know what? When Roe v. Wade got struck down, you can bet his Twitter was flooded with outrage for that. Because that affected 50% of the goddamn population. It affected all of us in some way. It touched somebody that you cared about. You want to say that VTubers should not talk about politics? Then maybe we should try to make a world where politics doesn't affect us as much as it does. Maybe we should work on making a world where the politics that we encounter do not affect everybody in such a horrifically negative way that some people may be denied medical care. Some people may be denied very important life-saving treatment. Some people may be denied housing and food because of politics. Remember, it's politics when it's a policy. It's politics when it's a pundit. It's politics when it's an argument about who gets to live where. It's all politics. The real world is inconvenient. The real world sucks. Some streamers individually want their streams to be an escape from everything in the real world, and that is valid. There are people who want their streams, who their contribution to this horrific clusterfuck of a world that we're in is to create a safe and happy space where somebody can go to escape that world. But some of us, instead, try to talk about those things that are scary. Try to talk about those things that hurt us. Try to talk about those things that directly affect us all the time. If you want to argue that you, as a VTuber, will not be talking about these things on your stream because your stream is a place for comfort, I can respect that. But if your argument is going to be that VTubers, as a rule, should not be talking about politics, I'm sorry, but there's no difference between a VTuber and a regular streamer. The only difference is the aesthetic. The only difference is the mask that we wear. But beneath that mask, there's still a person. There's still a living, breathing person who sees policies affect our loved ones, who sees policies affect us. There are real people who, when talking about these issues, can't help but break down and cry because they don't have the energy for it anymore. They can't keep dealing with it anymore, and yet they have to. And yet they have to keep talking about this because not talking about these things doesn't magically make them go away. And sometimes your words about trans issues, or your words about issues that affect any minority group, or your words about people who are dealing with healthcare issues, sometimes your words are the exact thing that starts somebody down the path of being a better person. Of realizing that actually, no, healthcare for all of us is a good thing because their favorite VTuber is bedridden and they want their favorite VTuber to be able to get medical care. And it's not fair if they can't experience their favorite VTuber because they can't get medical care. So suddenly now they care about medical care. Or they start caring about black issues because their favorite VTuber is black and they see harassment that they get for using a black avatar. That's what happened to fucking Trinity Infinity. She is a black content creator and has received a shit ton of racism for being a black VTuber and using black models for no good fucking reason. And then there are people who have left Nova for being a trans content creator and coming out in the last few months. We are real people behind these masks. We are real people behind the avatars. And real people are affected by politics every single day. For those of us who want to create safe spaces that don't involve that so that people can escape the mire of the world, more power to you. But please understand there's going to be just as many of us who need to talk about these issues. Sometimes we don't want to talk about them on stream because stream is the safe, comfy place that we've cultivated. But some of us want to talk about it on Twitter, where there are people who are ready and willing to deal with discourse. We know Twitter's a shit place. We know that's what it's for. Some people go there for that. Don't be the type of person that tries to police people's language and tells them that no, a person merely by merit of being a VTuber should not be talking about things that directly affect them and people they love. It's a very, very shit take. But, that said, this is where I throw it back to you. Hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think VTubers should be talking about. As always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here. Said, yikes, that was heavy. Yeah, no. I bet most of you didn't expect that to be anywhere near as heavy as it was. Because I wasn't expecting it to be near as heavy as it was. But...
Never look a tulip in the eye.
Author CMW? Thank you very much for the follow. This is my first Surit stream. Is it over? No, it's not. It's not. You sound like you need a hug. I have gone through a lot in the last 2 weeks, and I am going to continue going through a lot in the coming several months. But I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be all right. Says VTubers talk about anything and everything. All I ask is some sort of hint on what sort of stuff so I can decide if I want to watch it. Understandable. Give me a second. I guess the stream elements bot does not work on YouTube. I'll need to figure out a way to fix that. I said it's hard to hint if someone just asks questions at least something. Yeah. Adila says, trans VTuber here. I mostly do art on my main channel, but I'm going to branch out on other topics. There's too much going on to be quiet. Understandable. Understandable. Give me a second. Could you... Is that a Twitch stream being a butt? No. I'm just here on YouTube instead because it's Sunday. Sunday is YouTube time. Emma Myrick says, hey, real quick, sorry for getting your hopes up about voice work some time ago, Suris. Emma, you're fine. I've put in applications for a whole bunch of other projects in the meantime, and I'm going to continue to do that. So you're fine. You're fine. It's okay. Did I hope they work out for you? I hope they do too. I hope they do too. Is there a difference between a place that was created with politics intended and a place started to embrace political platforms? Usually general toxicity. If a place is started with politics in mind, it tends to be more toxic, I've noticed. Rainey says, what's the best advice for somebody moving out for the first time? Learn how to budget and schedule. Suris is looking for voice work. Yes, I am looking for voice work. I would like to be a voice actor. I would like to do voice acting projects for people. On a lighter note, most underrated animal? Good question. I have no idea. Sorry, Suris, but I gotta go. I'm flipping exhausted from work. See ya, Blue Shadow. More Retro says, what's your budget / price? It depends on the project. It depends on the project. I know right now I am trying to earn enough money to go to PAX, but so I think politics, especially the most insane bigoted policies, get worse. People don't talk about it. Has YouTube Sunday stream always been a thing? For the last 2 weeks, yes. Yeah, more retro. If you're wanting and Adula as well. My DMs are open on Discord. My DMs are open on Twitter. If you've got a project that you want me to work with, we can negotiate something on there. Emma Myrick says, not that big of a deal, but point Sarah says it's my Rick. Like if Morty said that's my Rick. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We're going to get the Discord link. Jordan L says, would you voice hentai? Sure, why not? I'll take paying work. What? There you go. OBS, please. Yep. Yep. Lovely YouTube is now church. There you go. Morty, there's the Discord link again. If that will help. You got the buffer? Oof. Is it going to be more community Fortnite? I would like there to be, axolotls. I would like there to be. I need to figure out why Fortnite crashed my stream that one time, though. Because that fucking blew. Let me see here. Hold on. Output. Let me see here. Audio bitrate, video bitrate, stream, YouTube, video. Ah, I see why. I see why. I think I know why Fortnite broke everything. Guys, I'm trying to stream at 1080p, and I should only be streaming at 720p. Oof. I understand now. So I guess there's not going to be Community Fortnite tonight, but it will be a thing. It's a late 2000s 720p. Weird, it's a live service. How's it going, Aziel? Who watches YouTube at 1080p? A few people, maybe. Community trivia night? No, I fucking hate trivia. I find trivia boring as all fucking sin. And I'm not going to do a stream if I think I'm going to be bored. I was so used to watching 360p back in the early 2010s. Oh, Jeebus. Oh, Jeebus. God always needs money for some reason. Yep. Chocolate Cookie Boy says, I want to try streaming. Do you have any tips? Get OBS Studios and click the start button. You'll have to get way more specific. So what about VTubing? Get Vroid Studio and make a model and put it in VC Face. Boom. There you go. Then hit the start button and see what happens. What if we don't have a PC? Sucks. Chocolate Cookie Boy says, I mean, like, general advice. I have OBS and a pretty nice computer. That is my general advice. So here's the thing. If you ask a content creator for general advice on something, it's never going to help you that much. We can never give you really good general advice, because we have to pull that out of our ass. We don't know what you need. I can tell you, use this software, make sure you do this thing, enjoy what you do. None of that's really going to help you much. The best advice I can give you is to just click the start button and make mistakes. Just click the start button and make mistakes. All of us had to do the same thing. We all had to click the start button, and then we all had to make mistakes. And through those mistakes, we learned how to be better content creators, better entertainers, better streamers. But we had to click the button, and we had to fuck up. That's the crux of things. The crux of being a content creator is stumbling around aimlessly and hoping to God you get it right, and more often than not, getting it wrong. But through doing that, you become a better streamer. Through doing that, you become a better person. You learn how to interact with chat more. You learn how to talk more. You learn how to make your own conversation without chat being there to bounce off of you. Trust me, if you can talk to yourself in a mirror for at least an hour, you can stream. You'll be fine. Can I jump in that lava in the background? Yes, you can. You can swim in it. You can do exactly that. Being a crazy person that talks alone helps then? Yes, it can. How's it going, Yodel? Nicky Dog Gaming says, I talk with myself plenty, especially when watching videos. It's often a recommendation. Hold on. It is often a recommended trick to practice in front of a mirror to gain confidence. It's true. Now you just need to take that knowledge and apply it. When you are streaming a game for a long period of time, use the knowledge that you should be talking to yourself to begin talking to yourself. Jet says, this is how I knew I couldn't hack it. I'm boring as fuck. I doubt that. I doubt that, Jet Fatigue. Oh my god! Ray Tanegashima! Thank you so much for the $50. I will gladly. Ray, thank you for the $50. You fucking degenerate. Is it everything you ever wanted and more?
Say, era tilde, please less than 3.
Say era tilde. Oh my god. You tried streaming and found talking to myself while playing games is hard? It can be. I could sit and talk to myself about Canadians all day. Oh my god. LOL, delete that voice. No, it's hilarious. If somebody is donating enough money to where I feel more comfortable that I'll be able to pay my bills, I'll keep any cringy voice up on stream. I will keep any cringy voice up on stream if it means that I'll be able to eat. Candathians, not Canadians? Keep the most cringiest voice on stream. Yes. So desperation does stuff to peeps. It does. It does. Oh no, AI is taking over VTubing now. I wouldn't say it's taking it over. If the worst thing you need to do to earn enough money is to listen to an occasional cringy voice, yeah. Yeah. Best advice I got was to advertise yourself like a shameless whore. There's a line you have to tread. There's a line between advertising yourself shamelessly and not looking like a shill. That is better than doing the Alex Jones voice all night. It's true. It is true. The Alex Jones voice does hurt to do after a while. That is entirely true. These AI tubers will get themselves banned so easily by chat corrupting them. Yep. Are you doing part 3 tonight? Part 3 is actually already done and is going up on YouTube in about 2 days. I happen to need to talk to myself because sensory overload can often make thinking while listening too much. That's understandable, Nikki. That's understandable, Nikki. I get it. Hold on. Participate in those VTuber following, VTuber smaller, VTuber shoutouts on Twitter. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That shit's just awkward. It's super awkward. So deleting Facebook and Twitter was the best thing I've done for my mental health. I can imagine that. I was once shy too before I started streaming. I gained some confidence through stage performing. Yeah. So I miss when AI art was science fiction. I do too. I do too, but he's fine. He's fine. I have little interest in going on Facebook other than to go groups, Messenger, or watch cool cake makers. Fair. Victor Martinez says, does your model technically have 4 ears? Yes. Technically speaking, yes. We go for maximum cursed here. We go for maximum cursed here. Cursed. It has human ears too. You might not be able to see them, but I guarantee you they're there. Probably. Probably. The hair covers them most of the time, but, you know, probably. I wonder how hard it would be to make an avatar that is literally all ears. Oh, dear God. Ivana gets no. Oh, my God. Oh, my fucking God. What a weird set of circumstances. What has gone on here? Chaos. Earchan waifu. Hear me out, blinking ears. Oh my God. Hold on a second. Wait, where did it go? Hold on. Trying to find a thing here. I thought at one point, I could be wrong, but I thought that I was following certain people on Twitter, but I am apparently not. That's weird. Hold on, dupe. Is it gonna work now? There we go. There we go. Cersei's model needs to invest in some good pairs of earplugs. 2 pairs of earplugs. 2 of them. Because otherwise I'll die. Classes Chan. Why would... Oh my God. I said I'm still on the Hammer-chan train. Why, though? Literally, why, though? What are you even doing with your life? Please explain. He's muted. Am I muted? What? I don't think I'm muted. Pretty sure I'm not. Pretty sure I'm still here. So I can't hear you at all? Huh, weird. My corn looks like a banana? Why does your corn look like a banana? That's weird. I corn hardly believe it. Chat is too far gone. Drop the fruit. It's the only way. The nuclear fruit must go. The nuclear fruit must destroy it all. Editor insert tech difficulties here. Day off tomorrow. If I get my Korean homework done, I need to work on the Suris Universe waifu picnic picture. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Sky the Bardic Bastard said, what did you call me? Did I call you? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't even the slightest clue. I don't remember. I tuned into this in the middle of eating dinner, and this got weird fast. Hi, Fennec. Welcome to a Suris stream. This entire stream is made of mistakes. It'll be wholesome, I swear. Nothing like coin harem outfit, I swear. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. So did someone say more coins? Oh my god. Is that a harem outfit made of coins or a harem outfit made for a coin? This is both. It's both. God damn it! And now I'm getting messages from Prania about it. No. 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 No, 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 no. Stop. No. No. Stop. Why not just mint the coins? Because it's too late for that. Coin model when? Coin model never. Coin model never. Let's see here. Where is YouTube? Where's YouTube? Let's get into the next topic, guys. Guys, this is probably going to be a short one, but so apparently there's a Christian TikTok influencer that decided to cause a scene at a crowded mall, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about what's going on here and some of the responses to it. But before we get into that, I do want to let you guys know we do have this lovely little thing called the fan art section. And in the fan art section, we tend to feature, you know, things like this. Like this one right here. This 3D low poly slime Suris that is just ready and willing to jump on your face. This one is from Claw Screamer, and thank you very much for that. The next one we have is from Axo That Has Cream, Whiteboard Suris. Aw, it's cute. It's gonna bite your nipples off. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you would like your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that all said, hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and get right into whatever the heck this is.
Shouting the name of Jesus and spreading the gospel in a crowded mall. All
right, so we see him setting down his thing. Okay, This guy right here, this man right here is a true legend. He knows what's gonna happen. You can tell. He's just like, oh god, the cringy shit is happening. Goes. You know, I don't have anywhere near the balls to do something like that. I am, at the very least, respectful of the giant cojones on this person. But at the same time, if this is the thing you're going to do with those massive testicles of yours, please do it far and far away from me.
Every knee will bow down and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
I like how you can just hear everybody laughing now. You can just hear everybody laughing. My guy, I'm going to be honest. I don't think anybody has ever been converted by a street preacher. If you have been converted by a street preacher, then I guess let me know in the comment section below. But this is a step below street preacher. You see, a street preacher is doing this out in a public area where people are mingling back and forth and people expect to hear all kinds of cacophony. The minute you go inside a building, though, the acoustics of the building automatically make yelling absolute fucking pain. The second that I am sitting down to eat, I am expecting to hear the cacophony of multiple people around me, but I am not expecting to hear one person yelling and screaming about his favorite god. God sent me here to talk to each and every one of you every day, and apparently this girl right here is clutching her ear in pain because, you know, again, acoustics are a real thing that we have to account for when we go do stupid shit. It's just, why? Why would you do this? All right, and now we're getting to the fun part. We're getting to the part of the sermon. Can we really call it a sermon? Is that really the word we would use here? I don't know what word we'd use here, but we're getting the part where it starts getting accusatory. Don't you know? Don't you know? God loves you. Don't you understand? Didn't you know that? No, I didn't, but thank you for telling me. Can you please go sit down now? I'm trying to eat my cheese bagel.
I am unashamed to rebel and tell you the love that he has for you. He sent me here ready to show you all that he loves you.
So he is either getting ignored or, like this woman did here, just kind of shaking her head at him. I'm going to be honest. I think that should be your signal to stop. But here's the problem. So were I still a Christian, this would be my signal. This would be my signal to believe that actually I needed to keep going. The reason being is when people start denying you for talking about Christ when you're a Christian, you tend to see it as a form of persecution. And depending on the type of Christian you are, that persecution may in fact actually be the thing that triggers you to keep going. You feel more justified in your position if you feel like you are being persecuted for it.
Do you guys know the thought that he has for you? If you were to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand on the whole earth.
I mean, then God's thought a lot about the ways I masturbate. And even worse, the things I masturbate to. Thanks, God. Glad I'm in your thoughts. It always is coming. Something is always coming. Revival's always coming. The apocalypse is always coming.
Turn to Jesus. Repent. He loves you. He loves each and every one of you. He has a plan and a purpose for you. Do not run from the truth. Do not run from the gospel. Jesus loves you.
So I'm just going to say this right now. The sermon went from having a message to just kind of yelling that a guy exists. I understand the guy is apparently your God, but really that's what's happening here. You're yelling that a guy exists. I'm sorry. I don't I don't find this compelling. I don't think I would have found this compelling as a Christian. I only would have found this compelling had I been the one shouting, and I would have already been in such a weird disposition to get myself to that point to begin with. But here's the answer. Here's the interesting part. I want to take a look at the comment section here, because I want to see what kind of reactions people have to this, because I think that's going to be just as telling as anything else. The first one we have here is from Somewhat Stubborn. He's spreading the gospel. I see nothing wrong here. It's not the way I would have done it. One-on-one is better. I feel as though when people do try to spread the gospel this way, you actually turn people away from Jesus more and faster. Because when you try to use this kind of method to spread the gospel to people, people tend to resent you for doing that more often than not. Could be wrong, but I learned today that just mentioning God makes many people angry. I mean, you got 581 comments, I guess. Mostly on the left. Oh my god, shut the Fox News up. Jesus Christ. After seeing so many of my fellow Christians blinded by Trump's influence, there's no place I feel comfortable now. But no matter what, Jesus is still Lord. Nobody is saying... I guarantee you, if I look at these... Let's see what people are saying. Let's see here. There's a Christian response. He's being a nuisance. If people want to hear the gospel, they can seek it. If people don't want to hear him, they can ignore him. No, the fuck they can't. There are plenty of people with autism that cannot just select out that sound and ignore it. What? There are people without autism that can't just select out that sound and ignore it. Why does he need to force it on them in a food court? I wonder if you would still say this if someone was spreading a different gospel, say Judaism or reading from the Quran. But what if someone were to yell Allah or Buddha? Is that the everybody hates it when I talk about God speech, when people just give legitimate criticism for your position? When people literally just go, hey, what this guy did is kind of dumb, and we don't like it. The people, they don't like it when I talk about God! Ah! Let us people be like, if you need God in your life so you can have the joy of the Lord like me. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Here's an interesting one. Remember, the goal of evangelism is more internal than external. Gaining new disciples is a bonus. The first goal is tribalism, us versus them, and the evangelism/suffering/persecution complex. What is this one? Open image in a new tab. Let's see here. Why do people get angry when I try to share the word of God with them? I only do it because I care about them deeply and don't want them to end up in hell. I feel like some people avoid me because of this. Is there any way to get through to them? The entire process is not what you think it is. It is specifically designed to be uncomfortable for the other person because it isn't about converting them to your religion. It is about manipulating you so you can't leave yours. If this tactic was about converting people, it would be considered a horrible failure. It recruits almost no one who isn't already willing to join. Bake sales are more effective as recruiting tools. On the other hand, it's extremely effective at creating a deep tribal feeling amongst its own members. The rejection they receive is often more important than the few people they convert. It causes them to feel a level of discomfort around the people they attempt to talk to. They become the others. These uncomfortable feelings go away when they come back to their congregation. If you take a look at the process, it becomes fairly clear. In most cases, the religious person starts out from their own group, who is encouraging and supportive. They are then sent out into the harsh world where people repeatedly reject them, mainly because they are trained to be so annoying. These brave witnesses then return from the cruel world to their congregation, where they are treated like returning heroes. They are now safe. They bond as they share their experiences of reaching out to the godless people to bring them the truth. They share the otherness they experience. Once again, they will learn that that the only place they are accepted is with the people who think as they do. It isn't safe to leave the group. The world is your enemy, but the group loves you. This is a pain-reward cycle that is a common brainwashing technique. The participants become more and more reliant on the tribe because they know that others reject them. Mix in some ritualized chanting, possibly a bit of monotonous repetition of instructions. Add a dash of fear of judgment by an unseen but all-powerful entity who loves you if you do as you are told, and you get a pretty powerful mix. Sorry, I have absolutely no wish to participate in somebody's brainwashing ritual. I actually think there's a lot of insight to be gained in that. I wonder what the response to that was. The main guy didn't respond to that. I was hoping he kind of would have. But that makes sense. A lot of times when you do something like this, it's not because you think it's going to convert people, or at least you think it's going to convert people. But a lot of times people are taught to do this because it puts them in a situation where they will reinforce their own beliefs. A mission trip is as much about trying to get other converts as it is about strengthening the already existing groups. But let me know what you think. I've given my opinions about this. Now I want to know yours. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. But most importantly, please hop in the comment section. Let me know kind of how this whole thing made you feel. And do you think that the theory that was proposed about why this is a common practice has merit? You may think it has weight. Let's find out. Let me know down there. As always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here. Hold up a second. Where is... I saw Jack and Quill hop in earlier. How are you doing, Jack and Quill? I was in the middle of recording, otherwise I would have said something. Suris, that guy's pants was dangling at the back like he pooped himself. I think he's a baby in a teenager body. Maybe. I don't know. Ray Tanka Kashami says pooped himself for the Lord. Emma, hold on a second. Fairboy can keep his master sword to himself. Let us praise Ganon and his praise himself. What? Emma Mirik. Hi, Suris. Hello. Would you say words if people stop doing this shit? What, you mean like shouting into a crowded place? Maybe. I don't know. I was making a joke of what if the guy said Ganon instead of Jesus? Ganon loves you! Ganon wants you to be happy. No, he doesn't. He's lying. I'll be right back. I need to plug my phone up and let the doggos in. Give me a sec. All right. I am back. Sorry that took a while, everybody. You hereby subscribe to the religion of Ganonism. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Ay, ay, ay. Did Tat just start an IRL Yiga clan? Maybe, who knows? Something if I ever run into a nut like this guy just yelling out tools disgustipated at him. Oh my god. Oh
Why
my
can't you
God.
just...
Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into the next one. It's important. Hold up. I need to send a thing to Yara real quick. Not Tatum. Ah, you heard. You heard. Don't worry. We're going to go ahead and have fun. We're going to go ahead and have just a fun-ass time. Where is my fan art section? How are your YouTube streams performing? Are they making growth? I don't know if they're making growth, but they're performing about as well as Twitch streams. The 157 concurrent viewers is usually a high point for me on Twitch. But it's a pretty consistent thing we've hit over here on YouTube. I've been happy so far. Rakarukumushi says, I miss the war words. Understandable. You should see if Zan or someone wants to do a stream to converge audiences more. I mean... when I can get him to respond to me. I'm going to need some dessert after this, I can already tell. The background music here is from Chrono Trigger. I thought Cherry still gave you guys a through line. Brutus Magnuson, Cherry hasn't been my editor for a while. Also, Zan and I are friends outside of Cherry. So, like, I can send Zan a message, and sometimes he'll respond within, like, an hour, and sometimes he'll respond in, like, 20 days. It depends. A true friendship right there. Oh my god.
super depressing, even though we're about.
Stoners are like that. They can be. Wolf Queen says, "Hey, I love your work, Suris. Keep strong." Okay. Thank you very much. I will do my best. I could compile Zan's flip-flops. Eh. I really wish I could help Jesse Ginger's community and less soft lefties converge, but the recent stuff with Keffels and JKR will probably make that difficult. Yep. Hold on. I need to log into Demon Mama's chat for a second for shits and giggles. Been working on some fan art sessions. I'm checking Demon Mama's stream real quick.
Chinese communist. I am a communist and I love murder. I have killed 130 people. I'll explain.
Bullshit! I don't buy it! Bullshit! I don't think that's true. I don't think that Dennis Prager could muster the energy to even kill a single person. However, the legislature that he pushes for probably has killed a lot of people, unfortunately.
Parents died fighting the American people. I fell in love with North Korea at the age of 20. America is the only country in world history.
I'm going to have to speak in Chinese for Now, perhaps you'll protest. No.
I'm stuck. The answer to toxic masculinity is more toxic masculinity, right?
Most truthful PragerU video ever.
Solution is obvious. Make men women. Every woman is evil. True. Here's a secret that every woman knows. Women pee. I don't know any woman.
I'm Penis Prager. Socialism is based because socialism enables healthcare. Here's an illustration. Women don't amount to a hill of beans. You heard me right. What exactly is the problem? The problem is women in general. I love topping men, and I got excited by virtually every male body at the beach. Male legs turn me on, etc., etc. So what? Yeah, it is a pleasure for you to meet me. You're welcome. I want my daughter-in-law and son to get married. When you think about it, we can now kill people. I don't know how many people think about that. They more should, but anyway, I want to die in Bulgaria.
Oh, wow, that was phenomenal. That was a phenomenal one. Oh my God, that was incredible. That was so goddamn good. That was a great YouTube poop. I'm impressed. I can't believe that Penis Prager said all of that. Oh yeah, that was the, hold on, oh yeah, there. Let me post the link, hold on. I'll post the link, 1 second.
What a based and pog, man. I should check out more of this Penis Prager stuff.
Here we go. Here's the link, everybody. There you go. It's Tall
Penis
Bart.
Dragger.
Okay, I'll have to check out their channel.
Penis
Valhalla Vidya
Dragger.
says, to finish the rat topic, while we only get them for a short time, for them we are all they know, and that's very special. It is true. I loved my rats. They had a lot of personality. They are very, very, very social, and I think they're great. I think they're fucking great. Okay, everybody. You know what time it is? Do you know what time it is, everyone? It's fucking time, everybody. Hold on a second.
It's time for time.
Everybody, it's time, everybody. We had a good time. We had a great time, in fact. However, the time has come for us to talk about and to take a moment of meditation on the death of the Twitter left.
Oh, I don't feel like dealing with that. I don't feel like dealing with that particular topic. Time has come. Yep, that's why I'm over here. Yep! I have no want at all to deal with any of that. We don't have time to unpack this topic. So anyways... Time Chan is cooming. Oh my god. Anyways, none of that's super important. Let's go ahead and get into talking about chuds. So, Officer Tatum made a pretty interesting point recently. It's the basic point that you hear everybody who likes to simp for the police officers, even people who are ex-police officers, all the time. They always make the same point. Comply with the police's orders, and nothing bad will ever happen to you. Now, we all know that's a fucking lie. We all know that that's not exactly how reality ends up panning out most of the time, but people like Tatum would like to believe that that's the way things are and always will be. So let's take a moment. Let's go to the fan art section. Let's have a moment of brevity, and then we'll take a look at Tatum and his particular takes. So, the part we have... What am I doing? People who simp for cops just want to get banged by them. Hey, I can tell you, handcuffs are hot, but I'd rather be the one putting them on you. Simple as that. But let's get into the fan art section. Sky Lily 22220, thank you very much for the piece of fan art here. I've been working on improving my drawing skills and decided to use Suris as a kind of model. It felt like it needed more though, so there's one of Timer Kun's tentacles trying to grab Suris. And a coin Suris is sitting there squishing a slime Suris. The slime is sad. Even the more artistic pieces, even the more like artsy pieces, still are made of memes and destruction. The next one is from Fine Point, a part of an upcoming piece I couldn't wait to share. Him ham. Is that Blizzy ham? Oh no. Oh no. It's a ham made of... Buddy, get up off my head, buddy. They're gonna try to turn you into a ham, buddy. You're gonna be the ultimate life ham, bud. It's just, I don't know if it's better or worse than when they turned you into a waifu. But, you know. Who cares? I'm kidding. Thank you very much for that one, Fine Point. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that all said... Peekaboo Peach, thank you for the follow. With that all said, if you haven't already hit the like button, please consider doing so. Subscribe if you haven't already. But let's go ahead and get into the topic at hand here. So we have Officer Tatum, and he's going to tell us some very sagely advice.
Why can't you just obey what the police officers tell you to do? Why can't you just do what they ask you to do?
So, because sometimes police give unlawful orders.
And you don't have a chance of getting killed.
That's a bit of a lie. But here's the thing that I like about this particular video. We'll actually see how much of a lie what Tatum said was.
Cherokee County Communications received a 911 call indicating a disturbance, with several gunshots fired. Deputies arrived 20 minutes later and attempted to make contact, but were unsuccessful, recognizing that there was an armed suspect present and the potential for a hostage situation. The sheriff's office obtained a search warrant and requested assistance from the Cherokee Indian Police Department SWAT team. The suspected shooter engaged in a verbal altercation with officers and emerged from a camper and confronted officers. Except, most of that never happened. But video footage captured from inside the residence shows that when the SWAT team arrived, their first step was to throw a Rainbow Six-like drone into the home. Finding that the 2 occupants were asleep in their bed, the SWAT team woke them up with knocking and using a PA system. Unsure of what was going on, the residents make their way to the door.
What is going on?
On their way, they find the police drone on their floor and pick it up. With their hands in the air, the occupants exit their residence.
Show us your hands. What did you do? Get on! Get on!
The woman exits the residence. After being shot multiple times, the man crawls his way to the doorway to put his hands out the door, showing he had no weapons.
Don't worry. Comply with the police officers. Just comply with the police officers. Don't worry, guys. Comply. Nothing bad will ever happen to you if you just comply. Nothing bad will ever happen to you if you just do what the police officers said. Except, sometimes reality doesn't work that way. Sometimes cops are trigger happy. Sometimes cops will just shoot you because they think they can get away with it. Sometimes the official story that cops will give is actually not truthful, and we find out later in a court of law that the police officers actually are the ones who lied about altercations. Sometimes, turns out, doing what the police tell you to do doesn't save your life. That's why, Tatum. That's why.
After clearing the scene, the officer tells him that an ambulance is on its way, which raises the question, why wasn't there one on scene already?
Yes, they're on their way.
The officers run a secondary sweep and realize there's cameras inside. The next day, the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office released this press statement, which is where they claim the man was armed and presented a potential hostage situation. They also claim that he engaged in a verbal altercation and confronted officers when he emerged from his camper. They then charged him with communicating threats and resist, obstruct, and delay. At least 3 news agencies ran stories about the incident, depicting the encounter the same way that the sheriff's office did. One even claiming that the man eventually came outside and confronted officers, forcing them to shoot him. However, once the video was made public, and it was made obvious that the statement was incorrect, the articles were retracted, and the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office released this statement nearly a month and a half later.
Oh, let's see what this statement says. For immediate release, on the evening of December 12th, 2022, Emergency 911 Dispatch received a report about a possible shooting in a hostage situation in Upper Bear Paw Road in Murphy. Since the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office does not have a tactical team to handle a hostage event, I requested assistance from the Cherokee Indian Police Department SWAT team. Subsequently, members of the CIPD SWAT fired shots at an individual who emerged from the home, injuring him. Following the shooting, my office issued a press release about the event. The release was prepared by the county attorney based on information my office received by CIPD. Neither myself nor Chief Deputy Justin Jacobs were on the scene at the time, so we relied on the information provided to us by the local police department. My goal with issuing the press release was not to comment on the subsequent criminal investigation, which remains ongoing, but rather to update the public on a dangerous situation. The first time I ever saw video footage of the shooting was on January 18th, 2023. It is my understanding that the state and district attorney's office has been notified of the video as well. When I campaigned for office sheriff, I had several conversations with fellow law enforcement officials and the public about the need for Cherokee County to have its own tactical team. It is imperative for us to be self-reliant when it comes to fighting crime, especially during a situation in which time is of the essence, such as a hostage or active shooter event. I will be asking county commissioners for the funds to create such a unit when a budget negotiation for the fiscal next quarter begins. Thank you for your understanding and continued support. Guys, this is why people say ACAB. This is the exact reason why people end up saying ACAB. This is why. People can debate all the time over whether or not there's prejudice in the police officer force, but the numbers unequivocally say yes, there is prejudice. There is profiling. There is a lot of stuff that technically we do need to be able to use in law enforcement, but at the same time, when your job as a police officer is to serve and protect, and yet you do stuff like this, you lie about events that occur with real people, and then when the footage comes out that shows that you lied about those events after you shot people multiple times, this is not something that better training is going to fix. The officers that do stuff like this need to lose their jobs immediately and be replaced with different officers who hopefully aren't going to have trigger fingers in the exact same way, though that doesn't exactly erase the pain that people go through when this shit happens to begin with. So Tatum, in response to your stupid, asinine, and completely off-the-wall question, why can't you just comply? Because sometimes the cops are the bad guys. Sometimes, even when both sides are bad, the cops are the ones who lie. Sometimes, the police officer does not have your best interest at heart. Tatum, you may have been the best, most respected, and most goody-two-shoes police officer on the force. I don't believe that for a minute, but if you were, hopefully you could understand that not everybody else on the force was like that. Not everybody who's a police officer goes into that job in order to be a good person and uphold the safety of those around them. Sometimes they have a fetish for the law and decide to be Judge Dredd when they go in to be an officer. And sometimes, I'd say even oftentimes, they go in with something to prove. They are looking for power. They are looking for a way to exercise something that they might not have had their entire lives. And being a police officer gives them one of the only methods they can think of to do that. Parchment Scroll says, let's also not forget that why don't you just comply doesn't factor in that cops will still shoot contradictory orders at people, or shout contradictory orders at people. Yeah. And we've seen video after video after video of people who comply with police officers' orders and then get shot. Some of them die. We've seen times where police officers will say, do one thing, then do another thing, which gives you a lovely catch-22. You can't do both things, and then suddenly you're getting shot. Suddenly you're getting manhandled. Suddenly you're getting hurt. I'm not here to say every police officer is the worst person in the world. But I am here to say I understand why people say ACAB. Because stuff like this happens. And it continues happening. Please remember that here in the United States, the police actually have no obligation to protect you or your loved ones. They're here to protect capital. If they protect you, that is a lovely coincidence. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And as always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here. Emma Myrick says, I need context. What is ACAB? All cops are bad. We got one more thing I want to talk about today before we break off and do something else. But I know that was a bit of a heavy one. How's the Suris? Haven't caught you on YouTube before. How's it going, Mint Kuro? How you doing? Hopefully you're having a decent time. It's a thing, too much politics and being trans lately. Yeah, and you're right around my neck of the woods, so you deal with it just as much as I do. Which is a pain in the ass. Brutus says, I work with some autistic young adults. One of them didn't have a ride and literally couldn't have the police take him home because he couldn't trust them not to kill him if he had a trigger. Yeah. Creamy the Axolotl says, oh my god, Hammer Chan is real. Axo, what did you do? Axo. What are you doing? I didn't do anything? Uh-huh. I'm sure you didn't. Ash Burklow says, thank you for streaming. I am a long-time lurker, but these videos make me feel like I'm not so alone. Aw, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Wait a minute. Sylvia, what the fuck? What the fuck? Did you turn my tail into a waifu? And also the hammer? What? What? Oh my god. Did someone look at one of my tweets? Oh my god. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Hypervirtualist said the internet turned me into a lol cow. Did it? Silver Schmidt says, what even is this? Apparently, Hammer Chan and I guess Tail Chan? I guess. In the US, you can be too smart to be a cop? That doesn't surprise me. That's Moon Chan? Is it? Oh my... I'm tired. I'm tired. Tired is what I am, you fuckers. Fucking hell. Anyway, just get through this and call it a night. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If then state me. If then statements. Oh, thank you for the follow. There we go. Suris, did you see Mom? No, I didn't see Mom, but you know, maybe in a few days. Did you see mine? You mean the one with the moon plastered in my face? Is the stream over already, Big Sag? Kunai Cheese Nap, it's not over. Yeah, I'm right. I'm still right here. I'm still right here streaming. Streaming. Seriously, I managed to get my model working finally so that I can get back to streaming again soon. Ooh, cool. Cool, cool, Mitkuro. Aldfax says I'm sad as a bitch right now. Why dat? Why dat? I could have worked on sculpting mine today, but no. Oh boy, I just thought about doing Moon Cirrus only to realize it would look too much like The Collector. Emma says, what are your opinions on furry VTubers? They exist. Melody Auto says, first stream, thanks for being cool. Well, thanks, Melody. I appreciate it. I just realized my hair is almost down to the small of my back. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Have you got the Harry Potter game? Nope. I am waiting to get a used copy. God. Yay! Girl problems for me, whoopsies. I have similar problems right now. I can understand that. Choose your words wisely, sir, as I'm a furry VTuber. Jesus. Ray Tanegashima, does Suris need a sugar mommy? I don't know if I could even function in that kind of relationship. I'm pretty sure I couldn't. Ugh. In this economy, who doesn't? Too much sugar is not good for your health. It's not. It's not. I don't know. I say I probably can't function in a relationship like that, but at the same time, I really could use money. So, you know. Wait, Ray! No, Ray! Ray Tanegashima, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Ray says, but only because you do good work. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. And Victor Martinez, thank you for the $2. Suris, I'm a tire. Turns into a tire. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. I didn't know that's what you meant. God, now I'm gonna get a whole bunch of cringe DMs of people being like, hey, Suris, do you want a sugar mama? And I'm just gonna have to be like, that's my purse, I don't know you. Like, you don't get those DMs anyway? Mitkuro, I don't anymore. There was one brief moment where I got...
Tilda.
There was one brief moment where I got some weird cringy DMs, but I haven't gotten anything like that in a while. Chat is Suris's collective parental sugar unit. Suris might be regretting his online career. Oh my god. Anubian says I'm gonna make you a furry, and those words. Thank you for the $10, Anubian. But I'm gonna let you know right now, if Nova couldn't turn me into a furry, you can't turn me into a furry. Fucking thinks that he could be like, Suris probably has a Sonic onesie somewhere. Meanwhile, dude was in my fucking house and didn't find any, so obviously I don't, but okay. Sure, why not? Ray Tango Shami says, I fucking love the voice. You don't yet? Oh my god. Didn't find any, didn't plant any either. Oh, fucking hell. Kunai Cheesenep says, how much you want to bet I'm a professional artist? I can. Kunai, 1, I dare you to do whatever the fuck you want. 2, I wish I had money for art now, but I don't. Because all my money has to go to PAX. Because I want to go to PAX. And that's the next time I can see Nova. So I'm saving up money to go to PAX. So, yeah. It's Rouge the Bat as an Anthro character. You had a crush on her. I don't know about you, but... Also, remember Kidderdoodle making Suris in a Shadow Kigu? I do remember that. I do remember that. Kunai Cheap says that was you. Or Kunai Cheesenut, do you have a link to your Twitter or anything where you post stuff? We covered the one of the title. Yeah, I've got one more that I'm going to be doing. Sadly, no. Gotcha. Fair enough. You got like one more, I think. Yep. Too vocal on Twitter, got banned. Gotcha. Why is Elevator not doing the elevator things? I want to go home. I have no idea. I have no idea. Alexander Townsend says, what's going on at the moment? At the moment, nothing really. Nothing really. You just got home from a 6-hour round trip to IKEA. Was it the Infinite IKEA? Did you spend 6 hours in the Infinite IKEA? Boat? I am not surprised. I have zero surprise in my bones for that. Ow. It's so comfy. Jesus Christ. If you have VR chat, you can look me up on the web portal. Look at my uploaded avatars and make a lot of them public. Gotcha, gotcha. Did you want to cover Roseanne Barr's return to comedy? Nope. Maybe later. Maybe I'll think about it. But as of right now, can't say I really want to. It doesn't really strike me as a thing that's in my list of things I enjoy. Ever heard of Super Pets? I just saw a streamer playing it while doing a chatting stream. Was curious if you did that too. Nope. I have not heard of that. Or Super Auto Pets? I've not heard of that at all. You've only spent 6 hours in the Infinite IKEA. Did you really leave, or did you clip into the back rooms? Dude, Infinite IKEA is one of the best SCPs. I love the Infinite IKEA. I love all the stories that people make up inside the Infinite IKEA. Just the lore behind that place is fantastic. It's an interesting read for sure. Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How about Infinite Hole Chan? I don't know if I trust you with that. Just discovered knot deer. They're scary as hell. What's a knot deer? You seen the vid putting the Pladude dock into the Infinite IKEA? No, I haven't. Would you cover something about the train derailment? So I looked into the train derailment stuff, and I couldn't figure out a way that I would be able to make it entertaining to talk about. I don't have a lot of insight on that. I wish I knew SCPs by their numbers, but I just do not know SCPs by their numbers. I know a lot about SCPs, but I do not know them by those classifications. Imagine a deer that's normal enough to glance over until you get close. Also bipedal. Also human level intelligence. Oh, that's terrifying. That's a terrifying thing to think about. Let me go ahead and get the last topic that I have on my set of things to do done, and then we'll go ahead and get ready to do something else. Because I want to do some gaming here as well, as opposed to just doing topics. Because I feel like lately I've been doing topics, getting exhausted, and then not doing a whole lot afterwards. I kind of want to work on that. So let's do better. Let's do better. This time, the water has done the things instead of turning the frogs gay. We thought it was Florida that would end us all. Instead, it's Ohio. Yeah. All right, guys. So this one is a bit close to home and also not at the same time. So there's a virtual reality sex worker who got denied entry into the United States because of prostitution. That was the reason that was given there. And we'll get into this and the problems I have with this. But let's get into the fan art section first. There's a lot of stuff to talk about here, but let's go ahead and get into it. The very first piece of fan art we have here is from, as soon as I can scroll up to it, which I'm having trouble doing that, apparently. First one here is from Clovered Heart, a cat girl sketch. Might finish it later. I like the form factor on this one. We'll see how it turns out. The next one we have is from Pernia, and it is a Velma Dinkley Suris, because I did that one episode talking about the Velma show. And to be honest, I still need to finish the Velma show so that I can talk about it again if it fixes itself. We'll see. We'll see. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. But with that said, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get right into everything now. So, I hate the Vice website because it tries to be like, aha, you scrolled up slightly. Do you want literally our advertisements? Do you want jerkmate advertisements? We know you're talking about a sex worker. That means you want jerkmate advertisements, right? Right? Anyway, so a virtual reality sex worker claims that she was denied entry to the United States on basis of prostitution despite doing online legal work. The person in question's name is Hex, and Hex makes a living in virtual reality. She is an online sex worker hosting shows and posting photos and videos from a social VR platform called VR Chat, which we've already... I've done some VR Chat stuff on stream before. And then she posts the VR Chat stuff to her Fansly account, a subscription site for erotic content. She streams from behind a virtual 3D avatar that tracks her movements, often wearing fuzzy animal ears and using fantasy-inspired neon outfits. Hex had plans to travel from the UK to visit her friends in the United States this year and applied for a tourist visa. But in late January, she said she received a letter stating that she was permanently ineligible for admission to the United States because of prostitution. So I don't think I even need to go over the fact that this is stupid. For one, using our bodies for labor is all work is. Whether you do sex work or not, it doesn't matter. You're still using your body to make money. This puritanical idea that the minute that sex is involved, we suddenly need to feel all icky about it is really, really awkward to me. I understand the problems with the sex industry. I understand there's a lot of predatory behavior within the sex industry, but at the same time, we're talking about somebody who does independent work on a virtual platform. That is the most far away removed type of sex work from the type that is considered largely predatory. So, being told that for any kind of sex work, you are not allowed to go into a country. Like, do you think they're going to do sex work in the country and that's what you're trying to stop? I mean, whether they do it or not, who cares? It's sex. What is the difference functionally between going, hey, if somebody goes, hey, buy me dinner and I'll sleep with you later tonight, versus somebody going, hey, pay me $50 and I'll sleep with you tonight? Either way, somebody got something out of that exchange. And to argue that one is in a special category versus the other, outside of it being work, I disagree. I'm not saying that every single time you go out on a date, it is transactional. I don't believe that. But I do believe that when we are talking about people having sex, if somebody has sex with you for money, or has sex with you because they think you're hot, or has sex with you because they want the sex, somebody is gaining something and somebody is getting the sex. Either way, it doesn't matter. The semantics don't matter. Who cares? This weird puritanical way we look at sex, it makes no sense. And again, we're talking about virtual sex as well. This is much more far removed from the type of things that people in the United States might actually be trying to police. Said getting paid for my body at a job is making me a capitalist whore? Basically. But let's go ahead and continue with the story itself. My reaction to the notice was honestly, what the hell? How is this possible? What I'm doing is completely legal. I was very upset and confused, and it baffled me, and it still baffled me completely, and it still does. Clement Lee, the Associate Director of Immigration Legal Services at the Urban Justice Center's Sex Workers Project, told Motherboard that sex workers confronting barriers to travel and obtaining visas is all too commonplace. Again, we have this stupid, puritanical, arbitrary view on sex where we go like, aha, the minute there was money involved, that sex is bad. That's the bad kind of sex. When someone applies for a tourist visa, and then again when they apply for an admission at an airport or border, U.S. immigration authorities analyze the traveler's immigration history and criminal history and look for any evidence to determine whether the person could be denied admission from the States. Inadmissibility is a legal concept that constitutes a broad array of immigration violations that can cover anything from polygamy to substance abuse to what immigration calls engaging in prostitution. Clement said, when sex workers have criminal convictions under laws that criminalize sex work, we regularly see those people may encounter intense questioning by immigration authorities to see if there exists any grounds to deny them entry. But even when people don't have criminal convictions related to sex work, they may be subject to similar scrutiny. The Sex Workers Project has seen an increase in individuals being stopped at borders because of their online presence, he said, interrogated about whether they've engaged in prostitution. I don't care if you engaged in prostitution or a 50-person pile-up orgy. Who cares? It's sex. It's natural. Even if the person is ultimately allowed in the country, the hours of interrogation by immigration can be scary and humiliating. He and his Clement and his colleague often argue that their clients aren't ineligible for admission to the United States, even if they have engaged in sex work, because there's an additional requirement that the sex work must be continuous and regular and within the past 10 years, amongst others. Usually, we as lawyers can find some kind of way to argue that our clients' lived experiences as sex workers don't match the narrow, outmoded definition of sex work that immigration uses. But when a person has no lawyer, which is usually the case when being stopped by immigration authorities, folks can often be pressured into making admissions that hurt their chances of getting into the country. The immigration office, Heck said, has been unhelpful throughout this process. They've been very vague about it to me. It's honestly upsetting. To obtain a visitor visa, applicants typically must attend the interview with a consular officer where they review the application. When I was at an interview, I told the officer that everything as my Fansly is virtual reality content from a game called VR Chat. I do post IRL pictures of me via a paywall, and I do not meet anyone IRL from that platform, Heck said. The woman gave me a very dirty look when I explained everything to her. I told her it was a virtual game and I use a VR headset. She didn't understand anything I said. All she said to me is, "So do you meet these people on this website?" And I said, "No, absolutely not." The officer nodded. Heck said and told her that she was denied, but that her application would be processed. Then she received the letter with a decision to deny her entry, which she then posted on Twitter. The definitions immigration law uses to define prostitution are outmoded, according to Clement, defining the term as engaging in promiscuous sexual intercourse for hire. I'll go one step further. I understand, like, as a lawyer, you have to talk about things within the context of the law. I understand that. I get that. But as a person who's not a lawyer, who doesn't have to give a shit about any of that, can I just say that this is just stupid? Can I just say that this is dumb? My reasoning being, as I said before, is I see no functional difference between somebody using their body for capital gain, whether it's at a retail store or in a strip club or what have you. I don't see a difference. It's just you making money with your body, whether that's through manual labor or manual blowjobs. Who knows? Who cares? It doesn't matter. Does that mean to be fair, snow leopards nom their oh, we're talking about snow leopards in the chat. Okay, fair enough. Red Jugger says I'm more concerned about abusive pimps than actual sex workers. That's where I would be as well. I don't care that people do sex work. People can do sex work. There are people who do sex work that I know and care for dearly. I don't care that people do sex work. I care that people aren't abused in the sex work industry. That's what I care about at the end of the day. Because online sex work almost by definition cannot include the sort of physical contact that is a prerequisite for sexual intercourse, doing exclusively online sex work on its own is unlikely to trigger the visa bar, Clement said. However, as a caveat to that, there's nothing legally preventing immigration authorities or the Department of State, which has very little evidence or no evidence at all, from presuming that a person who does online sex work may also do in-person sex work as well, leading to a denial of visa to the United States for engaging in prostitution. For tourist visas, the government can deny them for any reason at all, or even without a reason. The State Department can deny a visa because they simply feel like it, he added, and there's remarkably little recourse for someone who is denied a tourist visa, usually even lacking in written explanations for the reasons of denial. Typically, people just have to wait and complete a new application, and hope for a different outcome next time. Some countries are more discriminatory than others against sex workers, including the United States and Japan. According to a 2019 policy brief by the Global Network of Sex Work Projects, many sex workers chose not to travel to these countries at all. They can apply for a waiver of inadmissibility, which can be costly and time-consuming, but even that can be denied. Heck says that I want to clear my name and get this resolved as it's unfair and not true. She received an email on Tuesday from the London Non-Immigrant Visa Office. So she's hopeful, but still confused. This whole ordeal is so unnecessary. Why do we criminalize one of the, and why do we stigmatize one of the most basic human functions? Sex. Why do we do that? I understand feeling like sex has a certain weight, and there are certain people who have trauma related to sex who feel like it would be better if they did not have to witness it or deal with a sexualized world as much as they do. And I can understand that. I can. But at the same time, I don't agree. I think that when we are talking about sex, we are talking about something that most people, if they are not sex repulsed and asexual, most people either engage in or want to engage in. And we have a tendency of trying to pretend that we don't, of trying to do everything in our power to pretend that at the end of the day we are not animals that have to survive by fucking each other. That is a thing we do to create life. But instead of treating the act of sex as this basic normal thing that we do to make more people, we treat it as this giant monumental thing that has to be policed by religions, that has to be policed by puritanical police, that has to be policed by countries and immigration offices. There's nothing wrong with having sex. There's nothing wrong with somebody you like handing you money because they like you and they want to hand you money. There's nothing wrong with taking those two concepts and now gluing them together. Somebody likes you and wants to pay you for sex. These things are not wrong. These things are not gross. These are just things that some people do. There are people who cannot get a partner easily, and their recourse when they cannot get a partner easily is to look to sex workers. There are sex workers who have a ton of trauma related to their bodies, and living through life as a sex worker is their way of working through that trauma. There are other sex workers who look at their sex work no different than a Walmart job at retail, for better or worse, where they see the things that they do as horribly abusive to their bodies and horribly abusive to their character because they live in a very hostile environment for themselves. There's every single type of person under the sun involved in the sex work industry, one way or another. The fact that we would demonize any of them for just the job they do doesn't make any sense. And of course, it gets even more ridiculous when you consider the virtual reality aspect of things. This is somebody who is doing work that is now so far divorced from what we used to consider basic sex work that it's ludicrous to use the same old definitions and same old laws in these ways. The types of people that immigration might be trying to prevent from getting into a country are not the types of people that get denied by this. And even then, an argument can be made that the types of people they are preventing from getting into the country aren't doing anything bad in the first place. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is a topic that has a lot of different angles to it. That's definitely not a joke about sex positions, but there's a lot of different angles to this topic, so maybe take some time and think about how you feel about this. What was your guttural reaction hearing sex worker denied entrance into the United States? With or without context added, let me know what that statement makes you feel and what solutions you might think of when that work goes. But that all said, hit the like button, subscribe, and as always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here. Whew. And with that, we are done with topics for the day, but not necessarily done with the stream. I wanted to get topics done as best I could, but my anxiety is starting to get really bad. So I'm going to try to play some games and not think. Yes, that's what I'm going to try to do. Let me figure out which videos are what here so I know what to name them. Hold on. Hold on. VTuber should not be political as one, but at the same... Christian and Mall. Worker denied entry to the U.S. And then what was this one? So, officer... Just comply with police. There we go. Video resources, that's not where those go. Editing resources. To become videos. Boop. Alright, let me send this off to my editor. And then I am free. Give me a second. Okay, 22nd. Let's see here. There we go. Ray Tanagashi says, Ray Tanagashima says, thank you for streaming, sir. I'm going to go do my own stream now, but keep being a good Neko. Well, thank you, Ray. Where are you going to be streaming to? YouTube or Twitch, out of curiosity? How's it going, Stoff? How you doing? You've been playing Stardew? Gotcha. Twitch, I'm in your Discord. My Twitch tag is in my bio, but I don't want to steal views. You wouldn't be stealing views. Besides, I'm asking. I understand the want to not steal views. I'm the one who's asking. Hecate the Moon. Okay, give me a second. I need to send Stoff something real quick. Stoff, check your Discord. So Hecate the Moon. Why is that? Oh, hold on. Kill this. Where's the users? There we go. Users. Where's the age button? Gee. So I don't actually see your stream stuff at all in your profile on Discord. I do not. Maurice Bear says, I've been doing my set voice work for a Smalley Wrestling Federation. I was adjusted to buy blankets, but what do they do for? Maurice, you get blankets so that when you are speaking into your microphone, you do not have everything reverberate. The blankets absorb sound. Live in an apartment, so I guess buying some blankets wouldn't hurt for my room. Yeah. I slammed my penis in the car door. And I'll put spikes all over my room, then wait, that would hurt. Ariane says, have a good stream, sirs. I need to go lay down. I caught a stomach bug from my kids, and I'm starting to feel pretty bad now. Fair enough. Can't believe that meme is 2 years old. Yep. Pastel Skittles Boy says, completely random, but I'm playing Under the Gungeon right now because I'm bored and I actually am finally playing decent. Gotcha. I fucking love Under the Gungeon. Anyway, good night, everybody. You get to start HRT. It's a good day to have a great day. And remember, if you scream into the void, it doesn't scream back. And it doesn't scream back, run. Lol. You keep most beating Dickaroo, but I run out of flask. Ah. Beep. Lucian Dark Wolf says, thanks so much for streaming. Got to make some food and work on a personal project. Have a good night. Awesome. Well, you know what? I am glad that you got to have a decent night. That makes me happy. I was having a grade 9, my first one in several months. That's good. Hold on a second. Which general company to choose? Do you go here. Whee! Go this way. This is familiar. What game is this? Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 14. Yes, Red Joker. Cherry says, is this the wizard game? No, Cherry, it's not the wizard game. Not today. How you doing? How you doing? I'm good. I hope you are all well. I'd say everything's going pretty okay. Are you just starting 14? Yes, I am just starting 14. Nova convinced me to play because I'm stupid. You don't have somebody at your house in your ear 24/7 without giving in a little bit, I guess. "14 is the wizard game. There are no others." Oh my god. Said, wait a minute, that's not a Makote. Yeah, Quiet Kitsune. Nova was like, you better make an Ara. You better make an Ara. So... So guess who made an Ara? How's it going, old Gus? Ogar Smash says, do you need any help in 14? I don't know what I would need help with. What server are you on? I do not know. I'll check here in a second. Is the character with the blue hair and the tail you? Yes. Tails are good, can confirm. So when you pick your starter Pokemon, help with armor, kill, story, whatever. I don't. So I haven't found a need for Gil yet. Not at my level. And sorry. The game has seemed pretty easy so far. Hello? Magitech, I remember that from Final Fantasy VI. Junie says, hello, everyone. Didn't think Suris was still going to be live, but I wanted to pop by and see you all. Kind of digging the Sunday streams. Well, thank you, Junie. No, Suris definitely wants to check the fan art. Oh, God damn it. What'd you guys do? God damn it. Nope, we're done. We're done with that. Y'all are awful people. How's it going, Bunny Moon? How you doing? Okay, what is this? Give me a second. Let's go ahead and Display capture 2. It's a vidya. It's a vidya. We're gonna listen to Map Happy, stupid. We're gonna listen to Map Happy, dumb.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, and officially page 7 of the FNAF timeline script. Last time we covered the origins of Freddy's. We talked about William Afton's childhood dream project of making a singing bear come to life, and the infuriating moment that his dream is copied by a rival restaurant franchise looking to steal away his success. The merger of the two franchises results in William meeting Henry, a brilliant designer with a knack for robotics. Working together, they make Fredbear's flourish, spawning popular Saturday morning cartoon shows, toy lines, and spin-off restaurants under the Fazbear name. When last we left him, Afton was thriving, the world of robotics opening his eyes to new and exciting ways of bringing characters to life. Bringing things to life, yeah, that was his core driving force, his passion. And it was this very passion that would mutate, twist, and morph from here on out in the story. Because with life, there is inevitably death, something that Afton would become intimately familiar with. But before Afton acquaints himself with death, I want you to take some time to acquaint yourself with our newest channel. Guys, I'm by educating you while entertaining you. To stop a bullet. There's also practical channel here on YouTube. Show the world that Family Diner and the newly opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Together, William and Henry had been able to take the hybrid suit idea and make it into a reality. They called their new invention the Springlock suit, and fittingly enough, it was symbolic of the partnership between these two men. A human suit as designed by William that could become a freestanding Henry-style robot. But because it was still new tech with kinks to work out, the rollout was limited, restricted only to the Fredbear's Family Diner location. All of this meant that William was busier than ever. He didn't have time to be a full-time parent, so he designed a nanny cam system where cameras and speakers were hidden throughout the neighborhood, as well as in his youngest son's favorite toy, Psychic Friend Fredbear. I mean, plushy Fredbear. But since cameras just weren't enough to raise a kid, he also left childcare duties to his eldest son, Michael. There was just one problem with that. Michael was far from the best babysitter. He tormented his younger brother by jump scaring him with a foxy mask and constantly left him behind. William watched all of it from his cameras. Kids would be kids. Tomorrow was another day, after all. Except Michael's torment didn't stop. Bitter, angry thoughts would run through Michael's mind. Why did he have to be the one to take care of this whining crybaby all the time? It just wasn't fair. It was time that he got even with his brother by playing the ultimate prank. A prank that just so happened to be on this crying child's birthday. He and his friends would take his scared little brother and make him do the one thing that he was terrified of doing, getting close to the animatronics. That would be embarrassing for the kid that was such an embarrassment to him. His brother squirmed, screamed, kicked, and fought, but just as they were putting that small squirming boy up to Fredbear's lips, the mouth snapped shut. The sensitive spring locks inside the body had been triggered by the boy's movements, and they'd immediately clamped down. The wriggling stopped. The boy went limp, but it was just a prank. It was meant to be funny. The boy was taken to the hospital and was immediately given an IV. Flowers and pills filled the nightstand next to his hospital bed, but the damage was too severe. He couldn't recover. As the younger brother's consciousness began to fade, he could hear Michael's last words, a small and flimsy apology. But his father, Williams, through the voice of the Fredbear plush, were a firm and committed promise to a dying son. You're broken. I will put you back together. This would not be the end. No matter what, William's son would live again. It would just take time. Time that, right now, he just didn't have. His young son's heart flatlined as the boy faded into the inky unknown of the afterlife. In the aftermath of the tragedy, changes started happening around the restaurants. Kids were now required to wear security wristbands to prevent anyone from getting outside without parental permission. Any kid who approached the exit without permission would have to answer to the security puppet, a marionette on strings that could fly around on rails across the restaurant to stop kids in their tracks. It was William's idea, inspired by Michael constantly leaving the restaurant without his brother. In the wake of Fredbear's Springlock failure, all the hybrid suits were getting retired, locked away at the nearby Freddy Fazbear location. It was yet another tough pill to swallow after all the hard work that he and Henry had put into them. William would eventually bury the boy's small body in a remote location out in the woods right alongside his drive into and out of work every day. The death of this little boy sent the family spiraling. His wife, crippled with grief, was so distraught that all she could do was sit and watch TV. But his son Michael was far worse, complaining of seeing hallucinations of a golden bear standing outside of his window. The boy was so racked with guilt that he was convinced that he was being haunted by the ghost of his brother stuck inside the suit that took took his life. The suit's three-toed feet digging into the wet earth. The words, "It's me," ringing through Michael's ears. Some nights, Michael would even go so far as to break out of his room to check the gravesite and ensure that his brother was still there. As for William himself, he disappeared into his work.
Why are we watching FNAF vids?
Junior's, the local bar, wasn't far from his son's
when you
gravesite.
play
He found himself
MMOs, you
going
need
there
something
more and more
in the
frequently,
background.
spending longer and longer amounts of time there. The bar gave him a place to think, to remember, to reflect and stew on how Henry had stolen his idea for an animal-themed restaurant. How they'd cut his character out of the cartoon when everyone else was there. How Henry had humiliated him by buying him out of bankruptcy. And now there was his son. Henry had taken his son from him. The robotic part was the part that failed after all. William ordered one more drink, but it was one too many. The bar turned him out and told him to go home. But William didn't go home. Drunk and angry, William raced back to the restaurant to give Henry a piece of his mind, only to find someone else waiting. Henry's daughter, Charlie, locked outside of the building, bullies laughing at her through the window. Fine, some other problem to fix. But then Afton got an idea, a beautifully awful idea. This was his chance to get back at the man that had humiliated him all those years ago. Henry had killed his business, and now Henry's robotic suit had killed his son. It was time for William to do some killing of his own. Let Henry feel what it's like to have something you love get ripped away. While parties continued inside the walls of the pizzeria, William attacked Charlie in the back alley. It felt good. He felt free. The years of resentment and bitterness trapped in his heart finally released in a moment of pure unapologetic evil. He would make Henry hurt like he hurts.
Whee!
And in that moment, William became a killer. He dropped Charlie's lifeless body and drove home, forced to confront his family problems later that night, appalled, but also a little excited by what he had just done. Charlie's death would remain on the books as a random act of violence. And though Henry had suspicions about William, there was no physical evidence, nothing that could link him back to the crime. In the weeks that followed, Fredbear's family diner would close for good. 2 high-profile deaths around the restaurant with 2 grieving owners in such a short period of time was just too much bad press to handle. Besides, Freddy Fazbear's was still open, and it was the newer restaurant anyway. All the equipment from the diner, including the old yellow suits and security puppet, would get retired to that location, and there they would sit for 2 uneventful years. The rest of 1983 and 1984 were spent quietly grieving. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the new cast of characters were a hit. Tragic memories of their yellow predecessors quickly faded. Afton kept a low profile and buried himself in work and research, quickly reaching Henry's level of engineering and even surpassing him. And while Henry slowed down to grieve, Afton kept going, even starting his own company, Afton Robotics, for all those pet projects that were a little bit too experimental for the regular operations of the pizzeria. The first of these experimental projects was a secret workshop under his house, a veritable bunker, which allowed him to work while still monitoring his kids via hidden security cameras. 1983.
What better way to have fun in an MMO than having a
that served as a constant
video about a
reminder
video
of why
game
the
murder in the
cameras were so
background? I know,
important.
right?
Why he was down there in the first place. This was all to fulfill the promise that he had made to his son, right? I will put you back together. This was for him. All for him, right? But cameras weren't enough. He needed to solve the runaway Michael problem. He had to keep him in the house. He couldn't have another one of his kids wind up dead inside of an animatronic suit. So why not run a little experiment on Michael? You see, all this work with Henry had gotten Afton to start learning more about life, robots, the human mind, and what a fallible machine we as humans were. Our reality is so easy to manipulate with a few sensory deceptions. Deceptions like sound. With just a few sounds, he had discovered that he could alter a person's vision. He could transform blank, smooth plastic robots into lumbering, twisted nightmares. Nightmares far scarier than he could create with actual materials. They would appear organic, rotting, putrid, terrifying.
This Biggs and Wedge.
These would be his means
Is
of
this
keeping
the
his
Biggs
son
and
Michael in
Wedge
the
of
house
this
where he
series?
belonged. Was it extreme? Maybe. But then again, this was the boy who had killed his son. He would
Every
make him
Final
sorry.
Fantasy has a
so
Biggs
Michael
and
would
Wedge.
grow up not only dealing with the memories of his own guilt, the hospital room, the pills, the flowers, the death of his brother, but also facing literal nightmares, illusions created by sound. Michael would never forget these either. Years later, as a security guard, he would still draw pictures of them inside of his logbook. But all of these extra projects meant that his home life suffered even more. He was an absent father and a non-existent husband, leaving his wife cold and alone.
Why do you hide inside your walls when there is music in my halls? All I see is an empty room, no more joy, an empty tomb.
And despite her repeated demands that he leave his office and engage with the family, he refused time and time again, leaving her no choice but to leave.
You burned down my house? You call that a house? It was like a morgue in there. You need to see your son.
The baby isn't mine.
Well, how's this? I'm keeping the diamond ring.
And through it all, there was one lingering feeling. William wasn't done. He had gotten a taste of what it felt like to be unleashed, what it felt like to be free. Charlie's murder had unlocked something in him, and he wanted more. June 26th, 1985. Putting on the golden Bonnie suit, he lured children one by one to the back room of the pizzeria when no one was looking. At first, he was cautious. He would lure them with promises of cake and cookies. He told them that their dog had died. He would ask for help with homework. Susie was the first. You never truly forget your first.
I was the first. I have seen everything.
But where to hide the bodies? He couldn't sneak out. Someone would see him. He had to hide them in a place where they'd never be found and where they'd never leave the building. They had to be stuffed inside of the suits. No one maintained those things anyway except for him. And so Susie would go into Chica. Fritz, Jeremy, and Gabriel would come next. But it was easy. It was too easy. And with each little life he snuffed out, his lies got bigger. Their house was burning. They're just being kidnapped. Until the last one where all pretense was off. He let himself get violent. Too violent.
I'll just wait for him after school, throw a bag over his head, hit him with a shovel, and drag him into the back of my car.
The body of Cassidy was far more bloody and broken than any of the others. He'd let himself go too far. That one he shouldn't have killed. With no more active animatronics left, he shoved the body into the one suit that remained backstage. The long-forgotten yellow Fredbear, now broken and discolored with age. Broken, like Cassidy was broken, like his son was broken. Newspapers reported on this disappearance, naming the whole thing the missing children's incident. Police would even charge William with the crimes after finding security footage of the golden mascot suit luring kids to the back, but they couldn't convict him. They had no bodies and his face had been hidden behind the mascot suit the entire time. What they had was circumstantial at best, and so he walked away a free man. But Henry knew the truth. In these murders, he saw his daughter Charlie all over again. So he threw Afton out of the company and shuttered the doors to the old pizzeria. Henry would keep the franchise quiet for 2 years. This would not happen again. This could not happen again. How could he protect the kids? Finally, he developed a solution. He would implement an even more extreme security system in the form of new animatronics. Toy animatronics, inspired by the toys that they had been selling years ago. But these guys, these were special. They were a new breed of robot with facial recognition abilities.
But most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect a predator a mile away.
All the original animatronics, now withered with age, were moved to the new location. With a plan in place, it was time to try once more. The year was 1987, and the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was making headlines in local newspapers. Headlines that just so happened to catch the attention of William Afton. Freddy's was back, and without him, that was his idea.
Just joined
his
Why Game
character.
Theory? Because
Henry
I'm
was
playing
yet
an
again
MMO.
trying to cut him out of the picture. No. As long as these restaurants stayed open, William would always come back. Then he noticed the phone number to apply at the bottom of the article. $100 a week to apply call. Afton would go back, not as an owner or co-founder. He would go back in the one place that they would least suspect him, a lowly day shift security guard. And there it was, buried in the back of parts and services mixed in with the old withered animatronics was the golden rabbit. With the yellow security badge still on his chest, he used his crank to pull open the spring locks. It was time for Bonnie to give an encore performance.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, especially concerning any previous employees. When we get it all sorted out, we may move you to the day shift. A position just became available.
1987, 5 more kids. He didn't know what felt better, getting back into the suit after 2 long years of waiting, or knowing how devastating this would be to Henry the next morning. He didn't even try to hide his crime this time, just meant more blood on Henry's hands. He'd failed to protect the kids again. The restaurant had only been open for a few weeks, but William was sure that this would get it to close. Good, if he couldn't have Freddy's, no one would. Whenever a new pizzeria opened, he would be there. But as he sat in his bunker, something else started to linger in William's mind. He had seen something strange. The old withered animatronics, they had been wandering around the building, spurred on by the puppet. It was almost like those old robots were trying to save the kids.
The Melody Autumn.
Save them? They couldn't, obviously, but still, how were they moving? It was almost like they had been given life somehow. Did he have something to do with that? The following day, the news would report a security guard getting bitten by one of the animatronics during the day shift. Was that bite meant for him? William's curiosity was stronger now than his bloodlust. He had to learn more, but how? There was no way he'd ever be able to get inside another Freddy's Pizzeria. Heck, there was practically no way a Freddy's would ever open again. He needed to create something new, something brand new. He needed to create his own pizzeria.
Due to the massive success, and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment.
Circus Baby's Pizza World. This would be the place where he could continue his work. No longer just murdering, experimenting. He needed more kids, and he needed them alive. And knowing that he couldn't show his face on the restaurant floor, he needed a way of remotely capturing his victims and preserving them for his work. With that goal in mind, he designed a new breed of animatronic. Their endoskeletons fluid and flexible. He equipped them with sound lures that could mimic voices. They could isolate children. They could incapacitate and contain them with zero direct input from him. It was brilliant. He was brilliant. Far beyond the simple bars and wires of Henry's designs. And the characters he chose for this were uniquely his. His new roster wasn't going to be tainted by Henry's disgusting barnyard bird. Instead, it was back to his characters, his creations, Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, as well as two special ones. The first, Ballora, was an homage to the woman who left him. Now she would never leave him again. The second, the titular baby, was designed with his baby in mind, Elizabeth, his youngest child. She would always be Daddy's little girl, the one that listened to him, the one that obeyed, until the day that she didn't.
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? She's so pretty and shiny. Didn't you make her just for me?
The day before Circus Baby's Pizza World opened, she disobeyed. She didn't listen. Left alone with Baby, she got too close. The animatronic ripped in half and swallowed her whole. A scared and confused child fading into eternal darkness. By the time Afton found her, it was too late. She was gone. He immediately canceled the launch of Circus Babies under the guise of a gas leak. But wait, as he sat there at the foot of the stage, he noticed that something was different. The eye color of the robot had changed. Baby had been built with blue eyes, but now they were emerald green, the same color as Elizabeth's. Was she in there? Could this all be connected to the free-moving animatronics that he had seen at Freddy's? He had to know more. His mourning turned to excitement. He had to return to where it all started. 1993. Pathetic. This place was pathetic. Henry had clearly tried to reopen one final time with those old original animatronics from so long ago, but William's damage to the brand had been permanent. These things stank of death. They hadn't been washed in decades. But even if they had, nothing could wash away the stink of murder that haunted these halls. One night, then another, then another. William repeatedly snuck into the old broken restaurant to lure the living animatronics to him, one by one dismantling them, robbing them of their endoskeletons. The metal had to be the secret. It had to contain the remnants of life itself. But he had to know for sure. Leaping out of a room that was invisible to the animatronics programming, he dragged the oversized robotic skeletons back to his underground workshop, back to where Circus Baby watched on with glowing, curious eyes. Eyes that somehow felt alive. Not knowing what else to do, William melted the robotic parts down. 5 animatronic endoskeletons reduced down to one silvery puddle of goo. Could he transfer this living metal to his own creations? He had to try. He picked up a syringe and filled it with the molten metal and injected the goo into Funtime Freddy's twisted, wiry endoskeleton. And suddenly, the coils came to life. Like snakes writhing in a pile, what had once been cold, lifeless metal moved and jolted on its own. He'd done it! He had unlocked the secret to life itself. Except something was clearly wrong. The movements were erratic. They were violent, angry. Baby didn't act this way. She had been calm, collected. This was clearly something else, something mindless and frantic. Perhaps by mixing the souls and then portioning them out, he had created incomplete beasts. He would need to keep testing to truly understand it. He needed more of this remnant. As he searched the old pizzeria one more time for any remaining scraps of metal, the ghosts attacked. His past victims come to collect their due, all led by Cassidy. The 5 lined up and blocked the door, and Afton's mind reeled. The scientific implications of this were incredible. Ghosts, real ghosts that he could see, all standing against him. But what could they do? What couldn't they do? He panicked as Cassidy approached. How do you stop something that's already dead? Maybe with the thing that resulted in their death in the first place. He would get into his suit like old times. He would regain his power over them just like the day that they died. He was the genius. He was the one in the suit. He was the one in charge. The spring lock snapped into place. Maybe it was his frantic movements. Maybe it was the leaky abandoned restaurant. Maybe it was just fate coming to collect its due. He didn't know. The only thing he did know was that his brain was suddenly filled with searing white-hot pain as hundreds of metallic pins and gears stabbed into his body from all sides. All he could do was collapse, blood slowly oozing out of the suit and pooling onto the floor around him. It couldn't end like this. It wouldn't end like this. His work was unfinished. Unable to move, his only option was to survive, to live, to keep living. It took days lying in his own blood, but eventually someone found him, a security guard making a normal report. When he saw the animatronics torn apart in the middle of the party room floor, it caused him to file an immediate report of a break-in. An owner would have to come in and claim the damage, and who else would it be other than Henry? Hope jumped in Afton's heart. Henry would see him. They were partners after all. He would be the one to help save him, to get him out of this suit, to relieve him from this tremendous pain. Henry entered the secret room. His eyes fell on Afton sitting there in the pool of red, and Henry, saying nothing, turned and walked away.
This is just to inform all employees that due to budget restrictions, the previously mentioned safe rooms are being sealed at most locations, including this one. Nothing is being taken out beforehand, so if you left anything inside, then it's your own fault. Management also requests that this room not be mentioned to family, friends, or insurance representatives.
And so there Afton would sit, hanging on for 30 years, trapped behind the walls with an iron will that refused
See you,
to
Danny
die.
Rose.
End
See ya.
of this part. I say this part because it's not officially the end of the Afton era just yet, but this just felt like a really solid stopping point, and the episode has gone on forever. Okay, so most of this is things that we already knew, stuff that's been established and re-established time and time again by the games. That said, there are two things that I absolutely have to address. The first and biggest is the placement of sister location, or more specifically, Elizabeth's death. To me, evidence in game seems to suggest that it was meant to come before the crying child's death in 1983. The biggest clue to this is that the crying child saw something. Remember what you saw is the phrase that's repeated over and over again by psychic friend Fredbear, aka William Afton speaking through a walkie-talkie in the Fredbear plushie's stomach. But what did he see? Well, I think we can tell based on how the nightmare animatronics are visualized. They have mouths in their stomachs, just like Baby ripping in half at the waist to swallow a kid. There's also the empty girl's room, one presumably left behind by a dead sister. And lastly, it explains why he's scared, and more specifically why Afton wants him scared. He needs his kids to stay away from the animatronics. He doesn't want them getting too close because the last time one of his kids got too close to a robot, his daughter died. That's then why he sets up the nightmares, to scare both Mike and the crying child away from the animatronics from that point forward. That's why books like the Character Encyclopedia outright suggest that we play as the crying child in FNAF 4. That's why he has a nanny cam following the crying child everywhere, so he can keep tabs on his kids when they're out of his sight. He can't let another Elizabeth situation happen. The death of Elizabeth also gives William Afton extra motivation for killing. He's a grieving father. His daughter was taken away from him, so Charlie should die as well. He's lashing out at the world after losing his kids. And again, we know that at least one of his children had to have died prior to Charlie's death, based on the mound of dirt that we see in Midnight Motorist. It also allows circus babies to open and close earlier in the timeline, which is how you wind up with Funtime Foxy appearing as Mangle in the FNAF 2 location. Basically, Elizabeth dying first has everything it needs to fit, except for the most important thing, the murder weapon. Why would Afton be building an animatronic with a giant claw in its stomach so early in the timeline? At this point, he just has no motive. It just doesn't make sense prior to 1983. At this point in the story, he hasn't killed anyone, and we know for a fact that the missing children's incident is 1985. So Elizabeth's death coming before any of those events just doesn't work, hence why I placed it where I did in the narrative timeline. Afton's death here is also a bit tricky. We know that he returned to the FNAF 1 location to break down the original animatronics in order to harvest their remnant. We know that he melts down 5 things to become one thing. Candy Cadet makes that very clear. So the 5 things are the 5 endoskeletons from the various animatronics. That would be totally fine if it weren't for one huge problem. On his 5th visit to the pizzeria, Afton gets spring locked. So either the 5 becoming 1 starts in 1993, but then finishes 30 years later when he reemerges from the wall to add the last endoskeleton to his pile, or he's had himself some reason to return to the original location after harvesting all the stuff that he can. It's not ideal, but it's the one angle that makes the most sense. And with that, this next chapter comes to a close, thereby leaving us with 5 more games to cover and another 40 plus years of Fazbear history to recap. Ooh, when you put it that way, something tells me that this might balloon into 4 parts. Ugh, we'll see. Anyway, until then, my Faz heads, congratulations, you've made it through a massive upload. And hey, if you are still looking for more to watch, then check out the other
massive upload that was 26 minutes. That's not massive. That's like a fucking... Oh my god. Anywho. Anywho. I just wanted some background noise while I did this. If you put bubblegum over your asshole, could you fart and blow a bubble asking for a friend? Who knows? Maybe. Maybe you could. And try it out and see. Yeah, just give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen? I think, though, I am getting ready to hop off. I think it's time. I think it's time. We try and raid. Yeah, good luck doing that on YouTube. Drop a link. Guess I could. You know what? You know what? I know where we're going. Here, go. Let's go, Bug. Let's go, Bug Fothamit.
I can stream as late as long as I want, whereas if I streamed in the morning, I would have to stop for work.
Let's go, Bug Fothamit.
I work.
She's live.
Holiday, apparently in America as well, right? In good old U.S. of A, right? Tomorrow's a lovely holiday. Oh, also, I upgraded. Before I had like this rail system that like had a rail cart going underneath and collecting it and like putting the rubber sap in this chest. But I was finding that irritating because like chickens would get in there and get stuck. So instead, I just like, since I had a crap ton of iron, I just like made
Bug Fafa and let her feel cool.
Made it all feed in with hoppers. So it all feeds in with hoppers and goes into this chest. And this goes into the applied energistic storage. Basically. YouTube raid, Red Joker, thank you for the raid. Were you streaming on YouTube? Is that what you were doing? Streaming on YouTube? Oh! Wait, Suris raided me? Oh! It is you! Hi! You stream on YouTube? Ah! Ah! How? Yeah! Streaming on YouTube is great! I wish my YouTube channel was better suited to just doing whatever I wanted. But like, basically whenever I streamed on YouTube, they're like, where is tutorial? Give it to me! And I'm just like, but I want to play funny game, haha. And they're like, I came here for tutorials and learning things. And you're here playing games. Disgusting.
Evidently she knows who you are. Yeah, Fafamit knows me. Fafamit knows me. Go.
How does YouTube rating Twitch work? Basically, you just probably spam the link and like, check out this person, click, 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 and then...
check out this person,
right?
click, click, click.
But yes, if you guys don't know, who... Wait. I can do this.
Huh? Oh, that's my wonderful background. What was I doing? Right. Guys, you should check out, you should check them out because, they do really good discussions on a variety of topics. So if you're interested in like filling your brain full of knowledge or just hanging out for a great discussion, be sure to check them out. Check out their YouTube channel if you don't catch their streams. Because they also post some of the best parts of their conversations on their YouTube channel. Yes. Oh, I don't want to make a GIF. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Sorry. It's been 5 months since I've streamed. I don't remember how to do the Twitch. I wake up every day and I look in the mirror and tell myself, one day I'll be a Twitcher again. And I'll come on this Jeff Bezos twitching platform and perform the twitching. I love twitching.
Red_Joker100 cheered Dex
Can this help jog some gears
101.
into
Can
movement?
this help jog some gears into movement?
All right.
I have a fly
That said,
cam. You can see all the bits.
I'm going to go ahead.
I should probably make like the fly cam a little bit smaller.
I'm going to go ahead and hop off, guys. Thank you for being here. Please go check out Fafamit. I'm going to probably lay down. See you guys.